My level of frustration is high because this is now the 5th time I've tried to video this, like take this video, and the last time I was like, yeah, you got this, and then my SD card was full and my camera stopped. So here I am, which is really ironic that I'm having so many issues because what I'm feeling is mad anxiety. So I decided to do a video while I was feeling the mad anxiety to express my feels around navigating distress intolerance, which causes anxiety for me. I don't know about anyone else, but distress intolerance is the idea that you can't handle like your negative emotions, which I think, by what I know by talking to friends, there's quite a few of us that struggle with negative emotions. So like whether that's just not feeling like you have control, like say parenting, or fear, sadness, all those sort of things, anxiety even, and then not knowing how to handle it, and then we use other means to avoid it because we just can't tolerate it. So distress intolerance is that like actually can't handle what you're feeling, the negative emotions you're feeling, and then we do this thing where we try to escape them, and you escape them by avoidance, not doing the things that need doing, or zoning out, like distracting yourself with food or Netflix or however you distract yourself. Some people are really good at distracting themselves in ways that they think are really productive as well. I do that. I go to the gym and think I'm being so productive, but really I'm still avoiding the things that are giving me anxiety. Like I didn't have anxiety until a couple of years back. I couldn't understand why it was such a big issue. I could be empathetic, like I was empathetic to people who had anxiety, but I just hadn't felt it. Therefore, it was more like, oh, I think I imagine what that feels like from, I have a fly and my frustration is high. I can't handle it. Okay, so I hadn't had anxiety. I now have anxiety. Thanks to a therapist, I've learned how to understand this distress intolerance. And I can look back and go, where did all this come from? Was it something in my childhood? Was it the fact that I had a really chaotic couple years that led to like big crisis moments? And that's possibly, for me, that's probably where this stuff came from. According to the therapy that I've had, I would imagine that recovering from some really chaotic years has me right here, because I actually want to, I don't know that I would recover from it, recover from anxiety or recover from being anxious, or like I think anxiety will pop up, but the distress intolerance, I can actually become more tolerant of the distress and learn to navigate through it in a way that helps me get to where I want to be. Because the thing is, I crack on about the same thing, and that's why I called my name Nell's Big Life, because I want to have a big life. That means I'm not ever going to be, I never have been, and I never will be someone who will just settle for quite a calm, quiet, easy life. Because that doesn't feel adventurous enough for me. Like I like fun, and I like high energy, and I like achieving goals. I like that I have these responsibilities of my kids that will mean I won't have an easy, quiet life for a while. But that comes first. I'm happy to have big, fun life with my kids. I want to achieve goals, which means I need to be able to work through discomfort, because if you want to achieve anything, it's going to be uncomfortable and there's going to be failures. And I also have that at play, which I think a lot of people have at play. I'm not unique in that I have that big fear of failure, to the point where if I feel like I'm going to fail, even at small things, if I feel like I'm going to get in trouble or do something wrong, I like seize up and would rather not do something at all. And at times I've been really like envious of people who can just get in and do stuff without fearing failure, who can go get an idea and just start doing it, who can get a piece of furniture and can just rip it apart. I'm so scared that I'll mess up, that it will, waste money, that it'll waste time and energy, that I am scared to do it. I honestly have wanted a photo wall and have not done that for about a year because I'm so scared of doing it wrong. And again, distress intolerance, like being able to navigate doing something anyway. So being able to rationalize what's the worst that can happen to Neil. You create a few more holes that need to be puttied up. You might have to paint a few sections. Not that bad. I'm not going to die if I do that. And these are also very privileged issues that I have. I'm quite aware of that. I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, my issues are so big. My issues aren't big. All I'm saying is that I'm trying to work through learning to handle discomfort because I now get anxiety from whatever reason. I now get anxiety, all right? And I will navigate it and I'll figure out how to continue to do what I want to do because my issue right now is I have a lot on my plate and a lot I want to do. I feel like I really need to get my ducks in a row in order to have full custody of my kids next year. At the moment, I'm 50-50 custody, so life's pretty easy. When I don't have my kids, I work hard, I make good money. Come next year, my ability to earn money with nursing takes a good dive, but I'll have my kids and that's more important to me than anything. And I will manage and I will thrive, I know it, because I won't accept anything less than being able to do that. So getting my ducks in a row means days like today when I have a good chunk of time that I can get stuff done, which is chasing up the builder to put a wall up in Zippy's room to make their rooms nice because at the moment my house is chaos. I kept the renovator. Like after the separation, I did not want this house. I didn't want a renovator. I don't feel capable of doing it, but I kept it because it's stability for my kids. And the rental market's not great here. The idea of not being able to find a place or the idea of having to move furniture and relocate rentals and things with 3 kids, like really stressed me out. So I decided to keep this house. So in our financial agreement, when we figured everything out, we did everything exactly 50-50 and I chose this house. I chose to keep this house, which comes with spending money because it's a renovator and it comes with time and energy. And now I feel the real pressure of having all that done, not all of it done, but a lot of it done before I have full custody of kids. And I'm quite aware of how chaotic I must sound right now because that is exactly how my mind feels. My anxiety comes up in a way of overwhelm. And I'm proud of myself for not tapping out and just sitting watching Netflix or not doing something else. Right now, I'm explaining on a video why I'm like this and then figuring out how to navigate it. So today, I'm navigating it in this way. I've written 3 things I need to get done because if I write more, it actually contributes to my anxiety and my overwhelm more. So 3 things so that I don't, if I write a big list and I fail, I beat myself up bad, like I feel like a failure, and then I'm like, see, you can't get shit done. Dead set, this is how my mind's been working on overdrive for the last couple of years. It feels chaotic, but I'm going to write the list of things that need doing. And when I've achieved that list of 3 things, my intent then is to figure out what part I can do next which is not reliant on other people. Like the builder needs to come and put in that wall. I want to pull everything out and declutter in a way that means I have less stuff to keep on top of next year because I'm nervous about keeping on top of parenting and full-time work in a job that's exhausting, like mentally and physically. I want to be able to do all that and feel a sense of thriving and having time for my kids and having a big life with them, not just working day to day, stuck in the grind, like of school and work. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to be that person. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with people's choice to just stick out those years working and parenting. And again, back to privilege, it's pretty privileged of me to think that in this situation I could still live a big life. It means that I'm going to be making enough money to do that, not struggling to make ends meet and being a single mum like I know some people are doing. And I know this because I talk to people. I talk to other mums. There's several mums in my department whose ex-partners have moved away, and it's then their responsibility to solo parent and work. So I know I'm not the only person, but I'm really determined to thrive at doing it. That means today I need to get on top of this 3-thing list and then keep going, because I cannot let myself be immobilized by being distress intolerant. I will not continue to focus on it now that I've done this video. Just throw it out the window and actually get back to getting stuff done. It must be nice. Like, I look back and I think, prior to anxiety and prior to feeling these feels, it was really nice to just do what needed to be done. I did struggle to keep on top of things like the house, but I also am quite aware that the situation I was in was not okay. So the least of my problems is the house, and then now the house isn't so bad. So that's it anyway. That's my little crack on about distress intolerance. I know sometimes I get all, you shouldn't have to label things, or shouldn't, if it helps you understand, to have a little label like distress intolerance is not knowing how to handle those negative emotions and therefore tapping out, in order to be able to go, oh, all right, I do that. Okay, this is what I'm going to do to manage that, because it's not about fixing it, it's about managing it. That when it bubbles up as in mad anxiety like I felt today, that I can navigate it. This is a very kitsch painting that I did, but this painting here, which says discipline and swift action, that was my method last year to navigate distress intolerance. So when the feeling came up that I was overwhelmed, swift action, so I don't even have time to overthink it, and the discipline of sticking it out, because I had that much on my plate that I would start something and then the next pressing issue would come up and I would stop what I'm doing and move to the next one. Like if my kids need me, I will always put my kids first. So it's being able to say, hey, 5 minutes kids, and I've got that, and being able to navigate that. So that's last year's method, still relevant to me now, but right now I have created more work on my plate. 1, by starting this YouTube, but 2, I want to be able to document navigating, getting this house from where it is to where it needs to be, getting my life from where it is to where it needs to be. Such a chaotic feeling. My anxiety, I can see that the video will be like super quick talking, but whatever. This is how I am.